Hi and welcome to Let's Talk Governance of the Game. Yep, not the sexiest of topics, but one that is really important and affects us all. I am Paul, the man behind DrivingMaul, and let's kick off with this. So today, in the Sydney Morning Herald, they started talking about Super Rugby and the strategic review. This was supposed to deliver towards the end of last year. Then it got put off and they said they would have a meeting in March where they would be making a decision as to the future of Super Rugby. And now, according to this, it looks like they're dithering and it could go on even longer. There are three options at the moment: stay with 18 teams, go down to 16 teams, or go down to 15 teams. So remember, this is a 10-year vision. This isn't what are we going to do next year or the year after. This is where are we going to be in 10 years' time. That means we're not going to see any expansion in Argentina and seeing them get more than one team. We're not going to see the reaching into the Americas and having teams in either USA and or Canada. All of those sort of things that people have been talking about. We're not going to see a team in Fiji either. There's just not going to be room for them. So all these thoughts of expansion are going out the window if this really is what they're looking at for the next 10 years and the vision for 10 years. The dithering on this and not taking a strong stance, I think clearly you can tell I think the options are wrong, but also the dithering on this and not taking a strong stance is damaging for the game. The other area that we're seeing a similar sort of thing is in the international fixtures after 2019. The current agreement runs out after the next Rugby World Cup. You have New Zealand wanting more games so they can fund keeping their players and not having them all leave for Europe. Whereas you have England on the flip side wanting less games as they get pressure more and more from their players about player welfare. So there's clearly a direct conflict there, difference of opinion. And rather than people taking the wider view and saying this is what's right for the game, what we're seeing is horse trading going on. So the last we heard, it looks like that in return for supporting the increase of the residency rules from 3 to 5 years by the Sanzar group, that in response the Northern Hemisphere teams would be allowed the option of not touring during the summer after Rugby World Cup, but also moving it back to July rather than it being June to allow Super Rugby. But rather than having people saying, right, this is what's right for the game, what we're seeing is lots of self-interest and horse trading, and we're going to end up with a muddled up thing. It's not good that 2019 sounds like a long time away, but it's not good that these sort of decisions around what will Super Rugby look like next year, and what's it going to look like for the next 10 years, what's the international calendar going to look like after 2019. These are not good things for sponsors and for other interested parties in the sport. How can you know? Should Fiji be investing in a new stadium? We don't know, because we don't know if they'll get any games there by international teams. We don't know if they'll get a Super Rugby side there. They can't make those decisions. And the same applies for Georgia and or any other side as potential sponsors. Would I sponsor Super Rugby? No, probably not, because I've got no idea, will my market be suitably supplied next year? Are we going to still have a Japanese team? Should I actually invest because I want to break into the Japanese market? That's why we're seeing things like Vodafone being named as the Australian sponsor 2 or 3 weeks out from the season starting. It's ludicrous that your headline sponsor is being named so late. It's a great sponsor, don't get me wrong, but it shouldn't be, the ARU shouldn't be announcing it that late. We've seen things, similar problems up north, so this is not a go just at Sanzar. The Rugby Championship in England has struggled for sponsors, and the Pro 12 has also had issues around sponsorship as well. The very, very top of the game, your Aviva Premierships, your Six Nations, they don't have a problem. They've got all their sponsors in place. It's the next layer down and beneath that where the game isn't quite as strong as we'd all like to think. And we need much better governance from our administrators around what's best for the game, rather than just purely what is in their self-interest, and thinking, oh, I'm scared of making a decision. No, you need to make those decisions, and you need to live and die by them, rather than trying to just kick the can into the grass, and let it be dealt with later. Thank you very much for listening. If you have any comments or thoughts, please feel free to type them in while I'm still online. Otherwise, if you're watching on Twitter or Periscope, feel free to put in the comments below, retweet me, or if you're on YouTube, please feel free to put comments below. But yes, I think the governance in rugby is not as strong as it needs to be, and it needs to be improved. I was going to talk about concussion today, but that has, because of the news coming out about Super Rugby, I'll cover that one off on Monday, I think, unless there's some significant news over the weekend. But yes, got some stuff on concussion coming up, so please do subscribe to my newsletter. The link is in the Periscope title above, or if you're on YouTube, the link is in the comments below. Also, please do feel free to share or retweet this, or give it a thumbs up if you're on YouTube. Thanks everyone, and see you on Monday. I'm going to take the weekend off.